Oh, do you want to see my new my top? I got a new NaNoWriMo jumper. I was supposed to get it for Christmas, but it never came, so I had to reorder it. So my brother was in charge of buying it for me because that's what it was supposed to be, a present from him, and it never came. And he never followed up, so I had to reorder it. But it's so cool. I'm very excited. And I love the typewriter, and I love how baggy. I got the 3XL. So it was just really cozy and comfy. So I digress anyway. Hi. Hi everyone, it's Roisin Anson and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is on my work in progress, and I'm going to explain what I'm currently working on, what I'm going to be working on for the next year or so, which is my young adult contemporary fantasy series. If you watched my first editing vlog, I explained kind of what I was working on, and then I have explained it as I've been working on the edits for book 1. But this is going to be a explanation throughout the entire series and my estimations on book releases, my strategy and all that sort of stuff. So to explain my book, the first book, a book is stolen with spells that any supernatural creature can perform, not just witches and warlocks, and it has spells that can depower a supernatural being, so they'll lose all the powers and basically become human. That's the premise of the book. My main character, Alexa, is a daughter of a werewolf and a witch, and she's disabled and she has no magical powers that we know of, and is told and asked, well, ordered to go on the mission to retrieve the book, because obviously she's human, so she won't be at risk of any of her magical powers because she doesn't have any being stolen away. And she's the only human that knows about the book, or in the pack where the book was stolen from, that can go. So that's why she's recruited to go. There is 7 people on the team, including her brother, sister, best friend, and then the neighbouring pack. It's head warrior, a warlock and his mate are all sent to go and retrieve the book. That's the premise of the book. That's basically the brief explanation of what happens. I have finished the first draft of the first book. The project is called, or what I call it, is Project Wolf. So that's the project title. It isn't the actual series title and that kind of thing, but it is the title that I've dubbed it. So Project Wolf is what I call it. So if you hear me say Project Wolf number 1, number 2, it's basically Project Wolf and then the book number. So I've done Project Wolf number 1. I've done the first draft of that book, and I'm almost finished with the first round of edits. I've split it into 2 parts, so I've done one part and then the second part. I'm currently working on the second part of the first round of edits, and then the book will go to my mom, who reads all my books, and then it will go to beta readers once I've inputted all the changes that I and she feels it needs, and then it'll go to beta readers. I have sent it to beta readers before just because I wasn't sure how the process worked, and I just wanted to give it to friends and family. They all said that they liked it, obviously they knew that it needed changing, so, but they were just really supportive of me actually writing the book. So it wasn't really a proper beta reader process, because obviously they didn't give me any feedback. They just said that they liked it and they liked the premise of the story. So it's not really the actual beta reader, so it was just friends and family were reading it and seeing if they liked it. The first round of beta readers will be happening at the end of this month, beginning of next month. I will send it to them and give it to them for about a month to 2 months, and then get started on book 2. So I'm not going to explain any of the rest of the series, because obviously it's spoilers alert for the rest of the series. Just, it means that the book has, I'm estimating that the series is going to have 5 books. So I won't obviously explain any more than what I've already said, really, in the grand scheme of things, because obviously that'll be big spoilers. I've contacted a design editor who is going to do all 5 book covers in July of 2024, so July of next year. So I'm not going to be publishing this book until end of 2024, early 2025. So that's the estimations of when it's going to be published. I don't really know any dates or anything like that because it's so far away. I have got a strategy on what I want to do. I'm going to rapid release the first 3 books, and then, or the first 2 to 3 books, and then slow it down. So all of the 5 books in this series should come out within a year. So when I first upload the first book, the last book will be out within the year, which is why I'm writing all of the books within this time before I publish. All of my books should be written and mostly edited by the time I publish the first book. I do this because of my chronic illnesses. I know that I'm not going to be great all of the year, so there's no point in me publishing 1 to 3 books and then waiting a year to 2 years for the next 2 books. So I'm gonna get all of them written and published relatively fast, and I don't have to worry about it. While I'm publishing those 5 books within that year, I'm going to be working on the next series, which, from what I know, I think I'm going to write it as a spin-off series. So it'll be the characters that are in this book with a different main character. Again, another 5-book series. My plan is that I'm going to publish a series within a year. While that's being published within that year, I'll work on the next series that I want to write, and then publish those the next year. So every year have a series coming out or working on a series as I'm working on the next series. So basically always have a series in the bag. So that makes sense. So while I'm publishing one series, I'm working on the next series and continue it like that. So that's my plan. Obviously I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's the plan. My plans to do all of the author and the actual business side of the self-publishing career, I don't really know when I'm going to start that. Obviously I've already kind of started it because I've contacted a cover artist, so I know that I'm definitely going to get a cover artist. That'll be perfect, great. I'm hoping that I can have her as my cover artist each time. So I'm going to plan to have all of my covers done basically about once or twice a year. So I get all of the series done in one go. So while I'm working on this series, when I'm working on the next series, I've already got the cover artist, and then each series I've already got them when I'm working on the series before. Does that make sense? Basically I want to be working a series behind. So I'll have a series ready to go before doing the next series. I know it sounds complicated, but as I'm publishing a series, I'm going to be working on another series, so that every time that's happening, the publishing takes about a year for a 5-book series is what I'm hoping to do. So for a year I'm publishing one series and working on another series, and then each year that'll be the way I'm going to structure my publishing and writing career type thing. I think I've just explained that about 5 times. I don't really know how the series is going to go, because at the minute I've only done book 1. I'm going to start writing book 2 in September, so September and October I'm writing book 2. Then I think I'm just going to write the books sequentially. When I finish my first draft of book 2, I'm going to go straight into my first draft of book 3 and so on to book 5, and then I'll work on my edits for all of them, instead of doing it like I've done this time, where I've written the book, then I've edited, or I've partially edited, so I've edited to book like the second draft, and then I'm going to go on to book 2 instead of doing the book like the drafting, editing, drafting, editing, drafting, editing. I think I'm going to draft and then edit. So that's my plan. It was just that I knew that I wanted to change quite a bit of book 1, which would have affected book 2. So as long as, I think now that I've got it in the correct way, the way that I want book 1 to be, I think book 2 and so forth will be easier to do. Because the main reason I put off writing book 2 was because I wanted to take characters out of book 1 and put them into book 2. But I wasn't sure if I was going to do that or not, which is why I didn't just go straight on to writing book 2, even though I kind of did, because I've written about 7,000 words in book 2, which now has to be completely reality because I've taken out those characters like I thought I was going to do. So that's the way. And then I'm plotting the series as a whole. So obviously the arcs for each book have got to be cohesive. So that's my plan so far. I'm, like I said, almost finished on the first round of edits for book 1, and then I'll get on to book 2. I'm hoping it'll take me it usually takes me about a month and a half to rough draft. So I've got 4 books to write, so that's about 6 months to write, but all the 5 books, and then I can spend the next 6 months after editing. That's would mean I finish in August, which is fine because I don't actually know how long the cover artist is going to be with all of the books. I also need to figure out titles. I've got a series title and I've got the first book's title. I just need to figure out the titles for the other 4 books, and I also need to figure out what I'm actually writing in each of the 4 books, because I haven't actually plotted the entire series. I know what needs to happen and where I want to get from to, but I actually haven't figured out what happens in each book. I also need to figure out something that I can't say because it's a spoiler, but I need to figure out how many of this specific thing there is. So there is a lot of questions that I need to figure out, which I need to figure out before I start book 2. So that'll be one of my next videos, is a plotting. It's actually plotting book 2, but I'm going to need to plot kind of each book, at least what I want to happen in each book, just like broad spectrum kind of things. So they need to go here, find this out in book 4, that kind of thing. So it's not micro plotting, it's not every little beat of each book. It's this needs to happen here, this needs to happen here, and this needs to happen here, in the big overview kind of way of thinking. So yeah, that's my plan. I'm currently waiting on, if you watched my previous video, which was my craft books, I'm currently waiting on Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult novel by Jessica Brody, and that's supposed to have a good series chapter where it explains how to write a series. So I'm currently waiting on that, but I'm really excited to find that. I think I might actually get it on Kindle, just so I've got it straight away, and then wait for my paperback to come, and then probably dive into reading all of that book when I get my paperback, because I prefer reading non-fiction paperback for some reason. I don't know why. So that's what I'm currently doing. I'm going to get the Kindle version of Save the Cat Writes a Young Adult novel and read through the series, writing a series, because there isn't a lot on writing a series. Like, there's not like a book where like there's a lot of like Save the Cat Writes a novel, there's a lot of plotting, outlining, writing the novel, there's someone editing and that sort of stuff, but there's no actual how to write a series. And if there is, please feel free to leave them in the comments, because I've looked and I can't find any. Even like a series to watch, like, or a class that I can take, I can't seem to find any where they talk about writing a series. So I'm writing exclusive series books, so all of my books I'm writing will belong to a series, and it's going to be is it a dynamic series? There's a specific term for it. That one, you have to read them sequentially. You have to read from 1, 2, 3. You have to read them in order. So that's what I write, and that's what I'm planning to write each time, even if it's like a duology, trilogy, so forth. I'm currently working on a 5-book series, as I said, and my next series, which is the spin-off series, is going to be about 5 books as well, I think. So I definitely need to figure out how to actually write the series. So I do need some more material on writing a series, because at the minute, like I said, I don't really have any. I'm just kind of winging it. So yeah, that's the end of the video. So that's my work in progress, what I'm actually writing, all of my plans, that kind of thing. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Click the bell as well to get an email or get a notification when I publish a new video. I've just recorded 2 videos in one go, and now I'm getting on with my rewrites. So like I said, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. If you've got any questions or helpful resources or anything, please put them in the comments down below, and I will get back to you as soon as possible, or look into any recommendations. Much appreciated if you send some recommendations, because I need them. I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.